So Rich Eisen was talking about Aaron Rodgers' next contract. And right now, the only team interested / available for Aaron Rodgers would be the Pittsburgh Steelers, which I still find hilarious. Okay, I really do. Part of me is like, what if he goes there and he's actually really good? Because, you know, that would be just our luck. But at the same time, I think with his dysfunctional self, he's going to somehow, some way cause a complete rift in that locker room. He's going to cause a rift for that team. And to be honest, I think the Steelers could use it right now. They just got DK Metcalf. They got George Pickens. We got 2 receivers there that are just absolute nutcases. So put a third one in there, and now you have the 3 Bs all over again. Although Ben really wasn't a nutcase. But Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown, they were crazy. Anyway, so Rich Eisen said, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to start with a 4. North of 40 million. How about that? 2 years, 70 million with incentives that can pop up more. See, that's what I would assume the contract for Aaron Rodgers would be. Something in, you know, something with crazy incentives, right? Okay, if you play 60% of the snaps, if you got us to a playoffs, if you got us past, you know, won a playoff game, something like that, right? To put him at 40 million or north of 40, which would mean like 41, 42, 43, that would be absolutely insane per year. I think if the Steelers did sign him, realistically speaking, they should sign him for around 30 some million. I would say less than that. He's worth less than that in all honesty, but you kind of can't pay him less than that. He's not going to accept it. So you're probably talking about a price tag of right around that. You know, 30, 33 million would be the realistic price tag. But again, you know, if he gets 40 plus million per year, 41, 42, 43, he's going to make more than Matthew Stafford, which I think we could all agree Matthew Stafford's way better quarterback right now than Aaron Rodgers. He's going to make more than Derek Carr, more than Sam Darnold, more than Baker Mayfield, more than Geno Smith, more than Justin Fields, Danny Dimes. Okay, maybe low-key. Maybe low-key this is actually like not the worst contract in the world. When you compare it to the guys who are making right around that price tag range, like Aaron Rodgers right now or Matthew Stafford, I take Matthew Stafford any day of the week. Derek Carr or Aaron Rodgers, I haven't watched Derek Carr in a bit, but I don't. Are we ready to say Derek Carr is 1,000 times better than Aaron Rodgers? I don't know. Sam Darnold, 1 year he was great last year, and then he choked in the playoffs. Let's see how he does, you know, after this year, okay? Geno Smith now on the Raiders. I don't know if he's going to be that great on the Raiders, to be honest. Justin Fields, we'll see how he is with the Jets, because the Jets are kind of the place where quarterbacks go to die. I don't know. Maybe 30 million is not that crazy. I mean, sorry, 40 million is not that crazy. It just seems like a really big number for someone who I just don't know if they're going to, you know, give you that back. But again, you do incentive base, and you're talking about a pretty good deal to get done. Steelers right now have 33.638 million. So $40 million contract. In the end, it might average out to 40 per year if they sign into a multi-year deal. Then a 1 year, $40 million deal. They're going to have to figure something out to make it incentive based 100%, because they don't have the money to pay him straight out 40 million per year. So they're going to have to work out a, you know, restructure one of their guys if they want to give him that money. Obviously, you're not doing that restructure with DK Metcalf. But yeah, this should be very interesting. My guess is they're going to probably try to give him a 2-year deal and backload that contract as much as possible. And add void years just so they can, you know, try to push the money a little bit down the road, because there's just no way in hell they're going to be able to give him 40 million and realistically speaking, you know, not push the money as much as humanly possible. But for the most part, I don't like, again, I don't know what would he actually be worth in the end, 61 votes so far for this guy. Tweet 60.7% says, does he have 2 good years left? No way. I don't think he does. I think maybe he has 1 good year left, but even then, it's like, it's not even about him as a quarterback. It's about him as a person. He's toxic. And do you want that toxicity in your locker room is the question. I know if any, one could handle toxicity, it would be Mike Tomlin. Let's be honest. He is the guy who is good at dealing with people who are toxic. But at the same time, it's like, do you even want that in your locker room? So we'll see. I mean, he's going to have to go against Trey twice this year. He would have to go against Myles Garrett twice this year. So he's going to have to go against some, really good players, and he's going to take a hit, and a lot of hits. So we'll see how this ends up working out for him, but I don't know. Again, like I said, it's one of those situations where I feel like definitely, like, you think of a number of what the player is worth, and it's like, is he worth that much money? Probably not. But like, that's kind of the going rate for quarterbacks. It's kind of like when Trevor Lawrence got paid, or like when Trevor Lawrence got paid. It's like, is Trevor Lawrence worth the crazy amount he's getting paid? Well, probably not. But I mean, he's getting paid how much a year? 55 a year. But it's like, that's the going rate for quarterbacks. Jordan Love got 55 a year. Now, even some Packers fans were saying that's way overpaid, but that's the going rate. So at the end of the day, even if the player is quote unquote not worth that much, if that's the going rate, that's the going rate. That's how much quarterbacks are going to get paid. It's not always the most fun thing, but next man up mentality, whenever a receiver is the next guy to get a contract, or quarterback, or any position in the NFL, once you're the next guy up, you're going to get paid. Maybe not the most money, but you're going to get paid arguably very close to it. You're going to get paid a good amount of money. There's that skill gap we have. Dak Prescott's the anomaly. Anomaly? No, that's not the word. He's the outlier. That's what I'm thinking about. Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, best quarterbacks in the game. Makes sense of making the most money. Patrick just takes team-friendly deals, so that makes sense. It is what it is. Lamar Jackson's down here. Like, you kind of have like brackets, right? You have the best quarterbacks, okay, like above average, great quarterbacks, average quarterbacks, below average, so on and so on. So, comment down below your thoughts, opinions. I'll see you guys in the next one.